silly. Yeah,
Oh.
there we go. Now you
Hi.
can hear me. I'm sorry. It's my first stream ever. A little nervous. Nice to see you, man. Nice to meet you.
How you doing?
I'm doing great, man. Thanks for joining us.
That's all right.
Yeah. All right, we got OP in the audience. Let's go.
Just getting used to this being in front of the camera, face in front of everybody thing.
Yeah. So I guess introduce yourself. Tell us a little bit about your history, what brought you to Wax, and what projects you represent.
Okay. I'm SixBitGlitch, also known as Charles Gershom. I originally, long windy history, but summarized as short as I can. Lifelong nerd, always making stuff. In the 90s, I was as a teenager, I was inhabited BBSs and did I was a big kind of cracking scene. You know, ran the pirating circle in the school and stuff, and then naturally went into IT, did data warehousing, app development for a whole bunch of time until it blew my brains out, and then quit and ended up retraining as a fine artist, which is something I'd always done, and I've been a practicing fine artist for about 12, 13 years now. And then on top of that, it kind of drifted back into there was always these questions. People were like, oh, can you make this, for an art thing? So I've ended up doing lots of kind of creative arts commissions. So it's, galleries, installs, school projects, festivals, visualizations. And that's kind of, it's always been that kind of like shift of tech into art into now creative tech. So I think now I kind of see myself as an artist first, a tech second. Right. But it's all wrapped up. All the art I do is all tech. Like I build really shitty digital cameras and synthesizers and electronic sculptures and all kinds of crap. But myself and my business partner, we set up doing a kind of creative software development company, which is Reality Boffins. And COVID arrived, obviously, like it did. And all of a sudden, all of the public events just went poof and disappeared.
Right, yeah.
So we basically just knuckled down, and we just ended up doing kind of various contracts. So we did some kind of app development stuff that was stuff we've always done for people, but in a bit more, it was more of 100% of our work rather than kind of like 30% of our work. And during that process, Rob knows, is a long-term friend locally with Gaz from Crittercraft. And he was like, have you checked out this Wax stuff, this NFT stuff? And like, we've done, we messed around with crypto in the past for fun. Like,
right.
I mean, I've when Bitcoin first turned up, I mined a few as a novelty, then immediately lost the wallet. Didn't know what the hell it was.
I have a similar story with a MetaMask wallet that I don't even want to talk about, but yeah, man.
So yeah, now we're here, and Gaz got us linked into Wax, and we're like Crittercraft and enjoying that, and we dipped the toe, and we were still super skeptical. We're like, don't really see it. And then we sat around in the background for about a year watching everything that was going on, and we're like, okay, I think we're kind of on board now. And during that time, we'd had the project running for a long time, called Tourist, which is our internal baby, like our game. Everyone wants to make a game, and it's been our passion project for life. So we were like, we've been building it, and then
I don't know why I'm not in this project. I want in. I'm super disappointed in Nostalgeek for not twisting my arm. Let's go, because that's the kind of shit that I want to see. I want to see that investment from the founders. You know what I mean?
Yeah. It's sorely missing. I mean, I'm a little bit of I'm a bit pessimistic in that I'm a bit. If people do stuff for non-creative reasons, I get a bit edgy because I'm like, it's all about the art, man. But like, I know, there's tons of reason for doing stuff, But we're making it because we love it, and obviously, while we were kind of gotten on board with that, we hooked up with Sammy Snake, and we've been building his 3D stuff for Nova Rally.
Yeah.
So it's kind of, we just started in last year. We just threw ourselves in fully, and that's what it's been a joy finding the community, building stuff. It's great fun. So we're here now. We want to stay. But
hell yeah, man.
Now I've got all these kind of nice ranty feelings on the where it should, where the kind of Web3 sits in gaming and art and all that kind of stuff. You know, get on my soapbox and shout a bit.
Right. Yeah, without a doubt. So let me if I understand this correctly, you're doing art full time, and it's you've moved into AI art. Is that right?
It's more like we kind of do everything. Like it's the way I see it is everything is just another tool set, and your creative outputs can't really be, or I feel they shouldn't be stuck in a box. They're like your creative outputs. You dissect the world, you think about it, you reconstruct it, you use the tool sets around you. And
so you're calling AI a tool, like no different than like a paintbrush. Like, my understanding this correctly?
Yeah, I mean, I think there's two. You know how in this space there's the kind of feeling that in the mainstream NFTs have got a bit of a bad taste in the name now.
Well, yeah, without a doubt.
Yeah, and there's at the end of the day, they're digital assets. You know, like. I think it's especially from the mainstream thing. I think Josh was saying it the other day. Game companies are talking about the digital assets policy rather than what's their NFT policy.
Well, like I said to you, I kind of made it. I might have even gotten this from Josh. I forget who said it to me. It was hilarious. But like, when was the last time you saw like a game trailer and then like they're talking about like what database? Like, who gives a shit?
Exactly.
Like what it's built on, or like tell us about the game. And so like, why are we throwing like because NFT and crypto and blockchain and those were buzzwords and it was a novelty, but like, just leave it out. Like, let them discover it on their own. Let them go have fun with the game and then find out like, oh shit. Like,
it's kind of fun because what's happened with the NFT stuff, as you can see the same sort of thing coming along with the AI art stuff now. It's a new tech, it's all shiny, there's kind of buzzwords, there's an unclear roots of copyright, ethics, all that kind of stuff. But it's now been stuck with a weird name. Like it's AI art, but it's not AI. It's just machine learning. It's algorithms. Imagine if it had come out from the first instance and been just simply being called image synthesis. Oh, look, now as an artist you can do image synthesis.
Right.
It's a totally different way of looking at it. Right.
I agree. Yeah, I want to dive a bit into. I definitely have some questions that I feel like you could probably answer on the subject for sure of AI art. But first, so you have the TurisStation, and then you're also the author of BD dude. It's early. It's actually like super late for me. If that makes sense. The Wax Mole.
Yes.
Tell us a little bit about that.
So that was something that started initially as a bit of a joke because we want something internally just to kind of, to tag accounts. We'd been collecting accounts, and there's this whole back and forth of, what is a multi-accounter?
Right.
What's a bot? What's a nefarious bot? What's someone who just doesn't do much? What's someone who is doing it because they want to earn a few quid? It's like there's so many reasons, and it's so hard to clearly identify, and it's dead quick for people to get vilified in this space for different activities. So it's
right. And it's, I think that's kind of how we met. I think that was the introduction that Nostalgeek brought us together on. Was we had an internal channel, reputation scoring, and I have since seen a few, I think, Ethereum projects try to do it right. The concept really is just it's like a digital footprint of your anonymous self, right? Like, I firmly believe that you don't have to tether or pair or identify who your IRL identity is with your Web3 identity, and still keep them completely segregated, but have them both, be able to, like, a profile, like, be able to tell, are you a human? Are there certain characteristics that you're meeting? Are you a good person? Are you a bad person? And that kind of thing. But the good and bad is actually not subjective, obviously, always is. And I like your approach that you have on this most recent rendition, where you're just giving a score. Is that right? Tell the people about that.
So the way what struck me over the last year was this is a community. It's a community first. I mean, there's all the there's metrics behind it. There's finance behind it. There's tech behind it. But it's still a community. So I wanted to try and put something together that was kind of reflected what is someone who is active in the community. And so I based it on some more esoteric feelings. If you know, what does a community want? Well, a community generally wants you to give something back rather than take all the time. A community wants you to be active, doing stuff, being part of it, engaging. A lot of the scoring is around being active, and not just taking wax out of the chain, not just dumping NFTs and disappearing. It's a balance. Right. So the way we've done the scoring is everybody starts off. I assume everybody's good. And everyone gets a full score.
Of course, everybody, if they're in this stream, they are the most perfect people that ever graced this earth.
And from there, all we simply do is we have indicators for bad actors, and instead of rewarding for good behavior, you go backwards and just put penalties in with points for bad behavior. Much easier to keep track of.
Yeah, man. And what you said about that, I was just like if you start with a max score and only, subtract for negative, you can't game that really, right? You either have to come in with the best score or, I don't know why I never thought of that. It's brilliant.
But it's kind of like it means that someone who is an active community member who collects stuff, sells some stuff, buys some stuff, plays some stuff.
Right.
They it doesn't rate them on what their resource worth is. It's just because they can dump thousands into it. It doesn't reward them more. It means that it rewards them for being a good community member. So a good player whale can look the same as a good player non-whale. So it doesn't game it for people who just want to dump stuff into it.
Right. Let me ask you this. How does your algorithm feel if I came into the community and I meet every metric? I'm either average or above average, with the exception of marketplace buys. I've never bought anything. Is it going to penalize me for that?
It does, yeah. It does.
Yeah,
but it doesn't harsh. It's only one part of it.
Okay.
Everything else brings you up into a perfect chance of standing. It's not saying you must spend lots. It's that it's all relative based on what your account actually is. Right.
Yeah, and so I think it's great. I'm not going to criticize anything at all. Yeah, let's test it. We're going to be I think that the answer to this equation, right? How do we make it so that our streamers and our projects and the people that are needing this data, needing to parse this data, are getting the best possible results, but also tailored. I want to I'm going to put up together a different algorithm most likely than what you are, because I'm going to have different things that I value, right? For example, buying, I wouldn't rank that at all. I feel like the flippers, whatever you want to call them, they're a vital part of the economy.
Yeah.
And I just, I don't know. I feel like people oftentimes looking through rose colored.
That's actually a big update on this last one. The previous version, I think, penalized that activity more. This one takes into consideration everything much more. So you don't get penalized for being a flipper, but you might not get the 100% account. Right. But it doesn't matter, because I think the way it's basically now positioned is that anything above 500 is basically a good account out of 1,000. Cool. And then if a project internally wants to use the score on a more granular level, fine, whatever. But it's just an indicator, and I think that's it. It's an indicator based on, like you said, you're going to do one with different values to me. So this is why I posted in the chat on the Discord about should the comments even be on there, because they're dripping in my personal bias.
Right, but yeah, and I will that's what I want though. That's what, as a developer, that's what I want. I want as many of these as possible, because I feel like the answer is going to be that aggregated data, right? And being able to tweak things and just the user or whoever's selecting that data, like you know whose ideals you most align with as far as like a user in the community and people that have like either streamers or other people that are public that have announced what their views are. You know who you align with, right? And then being able to tweak your settings to say like, hey, like I really like the way that so and so does it, and so I'm gonna pull the knob up really high on them, etc.
I mean, it's like I love Honeycomb, and there was no point me doing anything that does things in the same way that Honeycomb does, because that's another metric to add to what I've got. So I use the two together. It's perfect.
Yeah, man, without a doubt. That's awesome that you said that. Hell yeah, we love Stuck, by the way.
Yeah, it's incredible service.
All right, yeah, these guys want to see this, I guess. So I'll show you the little UI that I was trying to throw together really quickly because I think it's hilarious.
That's first time for me as well.
Yeah. So here it is. It's called New Wiga because it's when I'm done with it, it's gonna fire out all the NF tickets for us also. And then look at that, dude. I made I don't know if you can see it. It's a mock-up. It's a mock-up Get Bash window. What's wrong with me? That's pretty good though, right? Like side by side. Anyway, so the URL is this is my local host. Where did it go? I gotta grab it out of the Discord. Damn it. Yeah, I would like to make it so that it's like perfectly compatible with Grubfish, so you can just like copy and then paste and click a button. And
yeah,
then,
I think before you asked, you talk about the dropping in multiple accounts in at once, and I think I was going to add a couple more functions to that one. Now this algorithm's a bit cleaner.
Yeah. All right. Whose wallet do we want to look at? BD, give me the wallet that you just said that you thought it would get a bad score. This is Postman. If you guys don't know what I'm looking at, it's an app called Postman. Everybody should have it installed. They probably don't though, because it's like a dev tool thing, but I think that everyone should have it. All right, DCIBU. All right. A score of 946. Points, comments, excelente. And yeah, dude.
Nice.
Negative. All right, so somebody, dude, Postman is a godsend. So, all right, so somebody give me, yeah, dude. It's late, but I hear y'all. It's early for y'all. Do we have a bad one, like a known bad? What was the one? Digger Master was the one I did the other day, right?
I hope that one still comes out all right on the algorithm.
So that's got a score of 0 with inactive bot. And so I'm all right. I'm okay to post this to these guys, right?
Of course, yeah. I mean, we are later on today going to be shifting it over to a different server, so it might disappear for a little bit while DNS is update. But yeah, hit it. I mean, we're making it. We're not asking for anything for it. We just want to make it for the community. So abuse it and break it. We'll keep trying to make sure it's all stays running and stuff. It's just something we want to make and put out there. We use it so much internally with Tourists and in the background for Nova. It's there, so everyone might as well use it.
Yeah, dude. So I know that we talked about this briefly offline. Let me show you something really quick here. Have you ever heard of BitDev?
Yeah.
So, yeah, man. It's a platform. It's kind of like Git, but it's geared towards front-end microservices, which are pretty new technology in of themselves. And we were talking about like beating up the APIs or whatever, right? And so I created a service here with the help of Webpack, and it's nothing special, but the whole point of it being up on BitDev, it's like if you wanted to use this, if I wanted to share this, like it's as easy as installing any other npm package. The latency kind of blows on this cloud site. But yeah, we plan on building a low code to maybe no code even. I know Josh and I have talked about no code solutions for like WYSIWYGs and like sites like Wix. Like I think that we need that on Web3 like sooner rather than later. What are your thoughts on that?
Yeah, I mean, I'm an app developer and a back-end developer. UI and web front-end stuff scares the absolute shit out of me. So anything that makes it simple is all over that. Definitely. I mean, it's just a from the front-end point of view, especially if you're a back-end developer and you're making stuff and you want to put front ends on stuff, that you just the minefield of deciding what route to go is always a nightmare. And it's like you can learn it, but it takes so much time to learn stuff, and you don't want to stop what you're doing to carry. You want to be in that flow state of making stuff.
Yo, I've spent the last 3 months in the exact state that you're talking about. I've never cursed so much. I've never thrown as many temper tantrums. Dude, it's frustrating. And then it's like, I know that when I go to the website, they have like this big warning that says like, hey, this is in beta only. Don't use this in production. And then I'm like, that's exactly what I'm going to do. And they tell me why I shouldn't do that. I ignore it. And then I complain about there being missing documentation or bugs. And but I am of the opinion that like Web3 gets built with bleeding edge.
Yeah, bleeding edge all the way.
Dude, we're like fucking common JS modules and like, you know, when the sites first came out, even with Solidity, I remember back in that's what was so appealing to me about the game Upland. Like I saw that it was like a mobile version. I was like, holy crap, like a DApp on mobile. Like it was 2017 or 18 or whatever. And it's kind of ridiculous. They shouldn't be looking like.
I mean that it's we I mean with our projects with the TurisStation stuff, we're pushing out everything onto apps where we want to kind of like we love the blockchain tech. We want blockchain tech to exist. Assets, NFTs, smart contracts. We want all of that, but like we want to like, okay, where's it going to be 3, 4, 5 times and start working towards that, which is why, you know, it needs to be seamless mobile apps. You know, we're getting ready to put it out on Steam, but to do that, we need a lot of other stuff in place to make sure that, you know, we abide by all the platform terms and conditions, that gamers don't get spooked by the fact it's on chain and everything like that. It's like it's ultimately going to. I think you said it in the stream the other day with Josh. It's like Josh was talking about it. You know, it's going to be transparent, and like you said, you don't need to know what database you're on, but you want to know.
Right? Yeah.
You know, you want to know that I can take my my Nova Rally trophy and go and take it into Minecraft. You know, I don't give a shit how.
Right. Yeah. Exactly. Have you seen the assembly script SDK? I think some guys over on Proton, which is an EOS.io chain as well. They put together an SDK for assembly script, which is just like fancy TypeScript. TypeScript's just fancy JavaScript. So we almost have a full stack Web3 DApp framework. What do you think of that?
It's exciting. You know, this is literally, this is like the Wild West stuff. It's this and the community is what's kept me here, because I don't really care about the speculation, and I'm not that bothered about working with crypto. I'm like, I like the tech, I like the chain. I want the stack, and more than anything, I want that, because dipping back into the art stuff and the philosophical stuff, like I love the concept of digital sovereign identity. And the idea that you have your identity online and it can go anywhere with you. Like, it's in the digital space, and that's what the blockchain stuff does. You know, it's going to be cross-chain, bridge, mainstream, games, whatever. It's like, it's the thing, to me, it's the thing that's going to hook everything together.
Yeah, you know? Man. Hell yeah. All right, so back to art. I got some good questions now, and I know that there's going to be some at least two that I can think of off the top of my head, audience members that would like to know the answers to these. So I guess the first one would be, so let's say that I'll give you a hypothetical. You tell me what you think about it. So I'm going to enter into an art contest, and I'm not a bad person. I follow rules for the most part. Every so often there's a rule that comes up and I'm just like, yeah, that's not right. And so I don't want to abide by it, right? And not everybody should have to, right? Rules were sometimes meant to be broken. So when I entered in this art contest, and it was like strict, like no AI, like they're the fucking Gestapo of AI art. They're not gonna let it in. And I wanna enter in my piece, but also I have a friend who is designing art and they're blind. And that's the only way that they can submit artwork is through AI by describing what they want built. How would they go about sneaking this AI artwork into to make it look like they had created it themselves? Does that make sense? Like,
yeah, I mean, I think there's two parts to that question, because if you imagine someone's gonna, let's say someone submits a photo into this hypothetical contest, right? Mm-hmm. And let's say they took this photo, they took the perfect photo, but at the moment that they took the photo, there was this stupid looking seagull that popped up in the background.
Yeah.
Right. And they went into Photoshop and they selected it and they did content aware fill.
Right.
What's the difference between that and AI generated art?
I mean, nothing. I mean, nothing.
So what I would say is from my point of view, I don't actually acknowledge AI art as a thing. I acknowledge art that artists create using tools.
Right.
So therefore it's no contest. The problem comes if someone generates a piece of work which is deliberately trying to be someone else. That's when it's a problem. You know, it's like if I generated a piece of AI art and I said, "Hey, look, I've made a Picasso," and I was like, "Look here, I'm submitting it," and I'm ripping off Picasso's style. I mean, it's no different from me being a forger in real life and repainting a painting and say, "Look, I've just painted the Picasso." It's the same thing. I'm using tools to create an image which I'm trying to pass off as a style of someone else's. I don't see the AI stuff as any different. I mean, the AI stuff is so easy for people to get hooked onto because you can type some shit and it looks really cool. But you try and tone that, you try and guide that into exactly what you want, and you start hitting hurdles immediately. It is difficult to get that thing to do the exact thing you want.
Right.
And even more so, it's difficult to get it to do it consistency. Now you can train your own models. You can use source artwork, so you could take a photo, you could process that through. It's like it's just another tool. I think the question would be, if someone says no AI art, you'd be like, yeah, no problem. I'm just making artwork, but in the middle of my tool set, I use image synthesis. It's image synthesis. It's not AI. It's not smart. It's not sentient. It's not the way that the data's trained is no different from, I could go to a gallery and I could spend 3 months looking at everything and then come home and go, I'm going to paint something that is the inspired amalgamation of all 20 of these different paintings I saw today. And then am I infringing copyright? Have I made my own piece of artwork? I think the question is the same, but people are hooked onto the output of the AI art and not the medium of the tool. It's just another tool, like paint.
Yeah, I mean, you're preaching to the choir too. These people running this art thing, they're idiots wasting their time. Like, why are you wasting your time on this? This is the future. You're in a futuristic, you know what I mean? Like this is Web3. You don't think in like another year, like everything is going to be AI. So then what? Yeah. So now you've done all of this damage to all of these, people over here, and now Photoshop, Illustrator, you name it, every single design tool comes built with that in it. You know what I'm saying? So
yeah, there's a comment by Snuggles the Rat here about art made from images of other art. I think that's one of the key things about machine generated art is that when you train a data set, you end up with a small data set, like the stable diffusion's about 5-6 gig-ish. And the data set that was trained on is literally like 250 terabytes. You know, the actual learning, the algorithms that train it doesn't have any of the original artwork in. It's no different from me just having a really good memory and being inspired by every artist I've ever seen. So it would break copyright if you're trying to deliberately make the style of someone else and passing it off as that. But other than that, it's simply something that it's an inference. You're creatively guiding an inference thing, and it's all about how you, as a human, uses a tool set to create a piece of work, which then, as a human, you present. It's not AI has made a piece of work and has stolen everyone else's work to do it. You know, I've studied art history. Every piece of work I make, do I steal every piece of work I've ever seen by making work myself? Because I'm definitely inspired by it. Like Nam June is one of my favorite. Nam June is one of my favorite artists of all time. He made incredible electric sculptures. I make electric sculptures. I have random crap like this lying around all the time. You know, this could look like a piece of Nam June stuff, but it's not. It's mine. I've made this out of my influence of the world. So the AI stuff is no different. Sorry, say that again?
I was looking over. I didn't see it.
This.
Nice.
I make really shitty 50 pixel digital cameras. You know.
Sneaker asks, how about the tables are blind? They can use AI to get their ideas out too.
Yeah. Too right. I mean, it's like every piece of technology. Technology can be made toxic, but at the end of the day, new tool sets democratizes the act of making and makes it more accessible.
Right, without a doubt. And like you just said, accessibility is a huge thing.
Yeah.
I'm here seeing my line on what fits the label AI art. Why one considered content-aware tools as making an AI piece?
Yeah, that's true. I mean, I was exaggerating it and stretching it quite a bit, but I think it's the sentiment. It's like, there's no doubt that the next versions of Photoshop, that content-aware fill is going to be driven by something that's like Stable Diffusion trained on image sets. Like, the only reason it wasn't before is because that tech didn't exist. So I think I was stretching the reality for the sentiment. You know.
Yeah. Do you have any? I hate to put you on the spot. No, I don't. I'm not apologizing. Do you have any cool shit to show us, man? Besides your backdrop, do you have any other art, digital art, or anything that? Do you only do like tangible art?
Sadly, I mostly do tangible objects and sound. So, I mean, Rob's in the chat. I think I saw him. Rob, are you there in the chat?
I can throw a link. Throw a link out there if he wants to.
Yeah, Rob, can you locate a piece of my sound art, because I can't off the top of my head, or something we've done with Accretion Entropy? Stick a link in the chat. Sweet. I think awesome. Yeah. There's a lot of basically sound performance, one-off stuff. You can't see, but in front of me, I'm surrounded by synthesizers and sound gear.
What?
Hang on, let's see if this background thing shits the bed or not. But there's like,
oh damn,
I'm actually in my workshop, so it's kind of
nice.
But it's mostly physical. It's mostly ephemeral. It comes, it goes, It gets destroyed, it gets rebuilt. Oh, Rob's posted a link. This is gonna be a surprise. I don't even know what it is. What we posted there, Rob?
Yeah, let's go take a look.
Yeah, Snuggles the Rat is just saying, there's a comment there about the editing the results of an AI image. Yeah, editing the results of an AI tool does quickly revert it back to art with that extra step. I mean, the logo for the wax bowl was one of 50 different mold with magnifying glasses images that we created that were photographs, and then were reworked into a pixel art, and we hand added on the words and stuff. And I think, so sneakery, not according to Atomic Hub, that is unfortunately an example of just being uninformed and taking
stupid is another word for uninformed also. Yeah,
it's uninformed and taking the media narrative rather than the actuality of what it is. And I think that's where the names come. You know, if you call it image synthesis, I mean, who's rendered an image out of Blender before? You know, lots of people. How many projects have ray traced images created out of Blender? You know.
Nice. Can they all hear that? I think you should, right?
Yeah, it's a rat. I'm afraid that what I should have said is I also just make a lot of noise. Let me grab another one. Oh, I know there is one. There's actually a recording of a performance. So this is here we go. I'll send you this on Discord so you can post it in.
Yeah.
Okay, there you go.
Oh shit! You got the channels going too.
This was actually a commission piece I did for an art festival.
This is 44 minutes. I thought.
Just grab into the middle of it somewhere. It's long pieces we do. This other video. It's a commission we did for an art festival where we did a sonic survey of my hometown. Now this was great because this was a fully paid commission. My sound colleague might ship him over.
Where's your hometown?
North Wales.
Okay.
North Wales, UK. So it's a little. So this was my old hometown of Llandudno, which is a little Victorian seaside town. I don't live there now. I live a little bit else. But my long-term sound colleague managed to ship him over from Canada for this, and we spent 3 days irritating the shit out of all the townsfolk, and it was glorious. We had literally we had people screaming at us, telling us they hated us, that they were going to kick the shit out of us. It was lovely. I love it. It's we had to stay in character for basically 72 hours as these sonic surveyors, despite no matter what abuse people gave us, and we were drawing over pavements. Underneath that wheeled trolley, there's like a massive PA system.
Yeah.
And the soundtrack you're hearing is a kind of a piece out from the middle of it. But all of the art practices, the sound art practice, is all about basically inhabiting performative states, in taking in that moment and just living it, and being very lo-fi. We don't really give a shit about into the kind of the quality of things. It's all about enjoying it, making it, and challenging with it. You know.
Yeah, man. I should have. See, I didn't know all of this. We'll have to send y'all over to talk with Super Dope over on Token Gamer. He does lo-fi music on Spotify.
I mean, basically there's a lot of random stuff we do with this and VR stories and installations. Like actually, you can just see across the road. There's there's an old jeweler shop, and on the year after this, we got commissioned that shop got shut, and we basically turned the whole shop into one massive rear projection aquarium. Nice. And kids came up and they could like draw on paper, and it automatically scanned it and turned it into a 3D fish and went into the aquarium. It's like just crazy stuff, you know. It's fun. We like fun.
Yeah.
Which is what we are just drenching the TurisStation stuff with that now. That's what we're about, you know.
Yeah, no doubt.
I could rant for a while on all this kind of stuff.
No, you did go. So what does anybody throw anything at you or get up in your face at all?
We had this really weird situation where on the end of this trolley we made loads of leaflets, and it was almost like a kind of a fake cult, and on the front of it had like a lovely happy family, and it said have you considered your definitive history? Because what we were telling people with dead serious faces is that we were beaming the sounds back in time and recording a definitive history in the sound art that we're making. And this lady in particular stayed with us for ages, seriously asking us what we were doing. And while you can see my friend is drawing symbols on the ground, and he's got a modified Nintendo Power Glove on, and people taking leaflets, and it was just like all these people asking us, and it was like, you know, have you considered have you considered your definitive history? Would you like to engage with the performative state? And it was, oh my god, we got people to sign documents. It was so much fun, and Yeah, they paid us and then they never asked for us back. I never said it was good art. I just love making it.
Nostalgia wants to know if you talked about the Auton's memories AI.
Oh no, that is actually sort of a little nod into an AI, the IRL equivalent of a rug. No, I still passionately make artwork, sort of. Nostalgia Geeks talking about the Auton AI. So if you could take the context of all of this mad sound stuff, so TurisStation is based on comic books that was a future story about a carbon copy clone of me and Ben, who's doing the sound work here, as if we were photocopied for about 500 years and became these odd clone type sonic messiahs. And the whole comic book was based around these two people who basically were like the futuristic versions of these two people. The world that those comic books are about is the world that Turis is about. So it's all about what is the nature of being alive. So there's a lot of talk around what is artificial intelligence. So the Autons, the little robot Auton guys we're making inside of Turis, the idea is that you can come in, you can give them stuff, you can play the mini games, you can come to an event, you can come to a gig, all that kind of stuff. But you log off and you leave, and the simulation takes over your part of the control of the Auton, and the Auton goes on and lives its life. So we've designed a system around a kind of emotional memories. So all the Autons interact with the world through emotional states. So like they can see a dog shit and be like, "Oh, I hate that," but then they remember that they hate that. And if they see it again, they'll remember next time. Be like, "Nah, I don't want that."
What?
So the idea is you could log in at any time and see someone else's Auton going about their daily business.
Yeah, I was just about to ask for this. Thank you, Nostalgeek. I'm disappointed I'm not in this already.
Do you know, I keep saying to everyone, it's still early. We don't do drops because frankly we haven't got a finished game. We're giving people assets to fill up their wallets with stuff while we build it to come and have a play. And we've got a roadmap where we're committed to the next 3-4 years. Realistically, I want it to be forever. When someone says when's it finished, it's like it's never going to be finished. It's going on forever. It's just going to keep changing.
3 to 5 year plan.
Yeah.
I've said it so many times. Nostalgeek has heard me say it. Other people out there, when you're looking at like those roadmaps that you see on the rug projects and the clickers, and they have a bunch of like it's usually 4 quarters because I guess that's all people ever plan for with the business, and they just have like some arbitrary tasks that you could probably knock out all of them in a weekend if you were really the 3 to 5 like you just mentioned, like that's what a VC wants to see, right? And I feel like, there you go. This is the shit that I'm asking for right here. Now, I know I'm in there. If y'all aren't in the Discord,
it's kind of, I mean, when we came into this space, we were like, okay, we got to do the things, we got to get whitelisted with Atomic Hub. We've got to do this. And then they're like, well, if you've got to do that, then you've got to do this, and you've got to have your white paper, and you've got to have people in Discord, you've got to do this. So, we wrote a whole bunch of stuff and we looked at it and we're like, what is this? It's like, we know we're building a thing, but like the first draft, we're like, what the hell have we written? Like, it's like a weird bastardized version of what we wanted to do. It was literally just servicing what needed to be done.
Right.
You then spend a few months, you learn, you do stuff, and it's like, okay, now we know how to apply what we want to do to the space. Because at the heart, we're game devs. We're not crypto investors. We're making a thing for people to have fun in.
I'm saying, what's your motivation? What's the founder's motivation? And if you can figure that out, then you're gonna make good choices, man. I am ready to wail on your project based on everything that I've heard. I probably have been ready for a while, but after the things you said today, like I'm as confident in TurisStation that I was in Warsaken, and I was in wasn't AM, I wasn't past tense, and Million on Mars.
I mean the thing for us is, like if one person turns up to play, we're still going to be making it for 5-6 years. That's
right,
not we're not. I mean, we want people to come and play, but we haven't done a drop. We're not relying on the funds to come in from a drop. We do IRL work, we do contract work, and then we just section off a part of our week to work on this. It costs us in that those are weeks we then don't go out and earn from contracts, but at the end of the day, we want to make this, and eventually we'll get it to a point where we're like, okay, now we've got something of substance, there's something of value, and people message all the time, look, can we buy some packs? Can we do this? Can we do that? And it's like, well, I don't want you to buy some packs yet, because what we're going to do, give you a pack and then give you nothing back for it other than a little a thing, It's like, yeah, have some stuff. Come and join us. Just enjoy it while we make it.
Yeah, dude. Yeah, I love it. I love it all. Captain Jack, would you believe that I noticed that and I went to go fix it? And in that, we watched that 5-second video today, or at least I did. And in that short period of time, I got fucking distracted and forgot about it. I guess I didn't cover the 5 seconds. So how long have you known Gaz for? A long time. Gaz in our audience.
I've only known Gaz for a short while. Rob Boffin, who's just popped up, he's my business partner. He's known him for a long time.
Gaz.
Don't know how long though. Many years. Met Gaz a few years ago from doing some other work. He was doing some educational event stuff and some mentoring of kids around game development. We got a little bit shouted at by the people at the educational conference because they said, "Well, what degree do you need to be a game developer?" We were like, "None. Just go home and make it now."
Yeah, dude. I mentioned Warsaken. I was making a comparison. There were 3 or 4, I think maybe 4 projects that I could confidently say that I was just all in after doing my due diligence and looking into the project. And I mean, they were all right. It was Taco, Million on Mars, Warsaken. I believe Farming Tales is the other one, and I feel that same way. I'm starting to feel that same way now. I guess I technically have to do a little more due diligence because I'm not even apparently in the game yet, but I can confidently say that I feel strongly about TurisStation the same way I did about those.
I mean, at the very least, there's 2 things. Well, there's one thing we absolutely can promise you, and that is we won't say the words Roy or
right.
It's not the objective. The objective is to make a cool thing. So if you want to join us, you can, and if you don't want to join us, you don't have to. This one of the reasons we don't promote anywhere. We don't post Twitter, we don't post Instagram, we don't go on the drop schedules. We just, if people hear about us, they hear about us, and it's nice. We don't have to overhype for something because we just want it to speak for itself. And if it speaks for itself and people go, nah, this is shit, it's like, well, okay, that's fine.
Right.
We're content for you to feel like that, but we're going to make our thing because we love it. And if other people love it, and we'll keep making it better and more fun. And it's kind of our approach anyway,
Yeah. Do all Unity games in a browser start with audio? There's nothing that I despise more than a browser tab hijacking my speakers and playing some shit I didn't ask it to play.
I've got to be honest, that's me being an asshole.
They all do it though, man. I'm like, God.
In all honesty, the WebGL version is probably going to disappear soon because it just doesn't do what we want it to do. The networking falls over more than the app stuff. The app stuff is nice and solid. The WebGL implementation for WebSockets is just it's piss poor for what we want to do. With our server, we're trying to host thousands of people on there, and WebGL just chokes it. I mean, it's live right now. If you're in there, then you should be. It should in theory be online. If I haven't broken the server today, but I was bucking with stuff.
Yeah. Let's see. So what do I do? What do I do from here?
What you done there? Okay.
This is my first login, I think.
Have you got any Curious assets?
I don't know. I want to say yes, but then who knows?
going on? There's something funky going on. This is why I hate the WebGL stuff. It's just flawless on the mobile. It's
you
basically
can do this on phone also.
Yeah, you can see how that's flashing and nothing much is happening. I think that's because there's an error on an NFT or something. Just hit the guest button and go in as a guest.
Okay.
One of the things is we didn't want to stop people trying it out, so you can hit the guest and go straight in online with everyone else. One of our main objectives is on the mobile. You're going to be able to log in on Apple. Oh, there you are. I can see you. Hi.
Hey. Oh, this is me here.
Oh yeah.
No.
That's me walking off. 13 Faye. Wow, that's Rob. You're just outside the elevator.
Okay. How do I move with the mouse? Or...
just click somewhere.
Oh, I see.
Now, sadly, because you're a guest, the 2 bedrooms are shut off to you, which is where the TVs and the various holocrons and things are. But if you see, they got there's a lift that says transit to concourse. Come back down the corridor a bit. Back to kind of where you started. If you click on the lift, kind of.
Oh yeah,
shit. You got your.
Who did this?
Oh, yeah.
What?
That's Nostalgia Geek added that in.
How do I not know about this? I'm the worst, man. Shout out.
Basically, so this is little tastes of the sorts of ideas we want, which is like vending machines all over the place for doing different stuff. If you go a bit further down, you got a Cellatron a bit further down there. We don't like it's not the headline is this project is not about us, it's about the community at large. So we just want to build a space to play and bring everyone into it.
Hell yeah, dude. Right, so I can go over here now. You said
if it's not going past the loading screen, I've just seen the message. It could just be slow internet connection, or it could be the browser cache or something. Again, it's why we're binning it from the WebGL. Yeah. If you search TurisStation on the App Store on iOS or on Android Play Store, you should be able to find it there as well.
Shit. Now where am I?
So this is the concourse. So this is like the main street. It's only got part of it here at the minute, and as you can see, it's still got our Christmas decorations up because we forgot to take them down. But you can see this is the main street. If you hit that green button at the top of that console,
right here.
Yeah, there you go. Get it away. So on the main street, we got the club up here, where we just got into with the Christmas tree. So we've had some events in here, and we can stream live music into it, like literally live music with us performing, nice. or stream from the radio. You can see there's some neon space posters up there from.
Nice.
They kindly allowed us to put some in the club. There's lots of little Easter eggs from different things in here. If anyone's familiar, the Rax is currently DJing with his one Spectrum headphones.
Nice, dude.
Just outside to the left. Oh, if you spin the camera,
where's the camera?
So hit the on the right hand side. There's a row of buttons. Hit the little lefty righty button. Hit. Okay, actually that's fine. Go up and to the left, and you'll see Nostalgia Geek's lovely arcade machines.
Oh yeah, Dance Geek. Oh damn.
Now, we've just finished. I think I might have said to you the other day about building an emulator. Did I mention it to you? The other night I woke up. I was about to go to bed, and I was like, "Shit!" I was like, "I've never written an emulator. I need to write an emulator tonight." So I wrote an emulator for the Chip 8 Super Lo-Fi 70s game system, virtual game system, and and now that is an emulator which is going to run on those arcade machines, and obviously the little mini games are going to be assets, etc. So it's basically just keep fleshing out the world. You know, we want farming stuff. There's a game called Planet Hoppers we've got where you travel around collecting resources, bring it back. You build your Auton, your little dude. Man. Eventually, he's going to take the mask off and generate a person, equip them, give them cosmetics. There's hats, glow sticks, different t-shirts, full skins. To the left of this place, actually, I think it should work. If you go to the left of this, come out of this building a minute. Come down. Come out the main door. In the middle.
Okay.
Keep coming down. Rob, I can see you going for it. Don't click the button. Not your button. Right, head left. Keep going. And just behind the club, there's a little street football pitch, or a little street soccer pitch, depending on your area of the world.
Yeah.
And click on that ball button. There's a green button. Click on it.
Up here?
Yep.
Oh, no shit.
And it's probably the worst football game multiplayer that's ever been made. But I don't care because I freaking love it. It's so dumb.
Yeah. Get it out of there.
But I think you can get the impression that what we're building is stuff that's kind of fun more than anything. We just want to make
for
stuff.
real, man. Like this is what I'm talking about.
So, you see the background of that football pitch?
Mm-hmm.
There's posters.
Yeah.
The far right poster and the far left poster are for audio tracks written by Lloyd Baxter, who is our resident artist and in-world personality. And they are music tracks which you can get off Bandcamp and are on Spotify if you want to search for them. Like we have other media. It's not just the game. It's going to be everything around it: real life stuff, comics, prints, games, videos, radio shows, everything.
Yeah, this is super cool, dude. Sneakery says that he's logged in, but he can't go anywhere.
If you click on the lift, it should like auto stand you in front of it and then wander you in. Bear in mind that we are, as I said, we're building this with this artist mentality and very much as we go along. So here be bugs.
Oh yeah. All right. If you're not in on Grubfish, get in now, and we're gonna run this real quick.
The little soccer pitch we're actually going to be updating so it does integrate with Twitch. So there is so you can host soccer tournaments in there and link it to Twitch. So it's like,
y'all should get in touch with Cosmos 11 and maybe
yes.
I'll hit up Champa after this. He was just on our stream on Monday.
I've just finally put my team together and I'm gonna get my head stuck into that. I really like what he's doing with it. It feels like really nice and classy in it, you know. I like the
right. Yeah.
I'd love it to see like public scoreboards of the leagues and stuff sitting in Turis so you can check on what the league stats are and things. Oh, there's nostalgia. Yeah. Nostalgia. Hello.
All right. I'm gonna start. So flashing next to my wax model means I'm having issues then, right?
Yeah, it does. Yeah, sorry. I'll find out what that is. I don't know what. There's some odd bugs. Some collections make my asset parser shit the bed because the idea is we pull in you can pull in any collection, and it allows you to post it into different places. Like there's like billboards and TVs and stuff. So when it goes through, it profiles your collection to give a best guess about what your assets are, if they're like stickers, video, audio, and then works out how to best use them in game.
Yeah, that sounds gross, man. I had such a hard time just getting where the fucking front image was. Like,
oh my god,
so many different ways. It's so frustrating. It's such a broken standard from that perspective, where like the types are not.
It's just the worst. It's just the worst, and then some people put actual HTML URLs in images instead of IPFS, and
I do that. I'll use I'm not going to use just a string. Like we have a private gateway, and if I'm using a mutable image, I found that using my private gateway, but on IPFS, because I do want to say decentralized, but I just want it to be faster. I throw the whole URL in there and it's almost instantly, but that's totally going to screw somebody up if you're only look at that.
We've ended up putting a couple of layers in. So there's we've actually got two cache servers. We've got an Atomic Hub cache server and we've got an IPFS cache server. So if you request one of your assets and you take past the IPFS, actually, do you know what? That's probably what it is. It passes the IPFS through to our cache server, which downloads the image or the video. If it's a video, it snapshots the first frame. If it's an image, it takes it and it resizes it all down to the size of the assets the game needs. So it preps them before it sends them to Unity. Because WebGL is so memory leaky, we just don't want to kill people's machines. So we do all of that on we basically we run a private gateway for IPFS, connect into that with our IPFS cache, and then everything goes through that. So it kind of it's like take the burden off the user having a good gateway, or take the burden off the user needing to worry about storage space and memory and stuff. We're trying to make it lightweight. I think the client on mobile is about 70 meg at the minute.
Yeah. Oh shit. Yeah. Oh. Yeah. Josh just shot me a message saying he couldn't make it and apologized and said CES is crazier than I thought it would be. No worries, my friend. Interesting that you said that about the videos. I was using Cloudflare and turning them into GIFs, at least when they're smaller. You know, like when the thumbnail size.
Oh, man, GIFs are my worst nightmare now. Unity hates GIFs. I ended up dragging up some old ass code that was literally, it was like pulling out bytecode to find out what was a GIF or not. Because Unity just hates them. So we treat GIFs as videos and pull them and reformat them before sending them onto the game on our server.
Yeah. I'm going to have to circle back to you, I think, and get your opinion on how I'm addressing things with our redeem functionality, because I know that needs another tune-up. And I've had to do things like that, like pull the images out, and cache them, and using Cloudflare and all of that. Utopia, shout out. And it sounds like you guys have a very complex system going.
I would say it's a very simple system because we're simple people, but I think that's kind of why we like it and it works. And we tried to make it tiny little modules that we can then scale up with all of the standard load balancing stuff and it's about little increments, little tiny, like you said, microservices. Effectively,
yeah,
we've got a handful of microservices. We've got Atomic Hub microservice, our IPS microservice. We've got our Discord microservice. Any one of those can die, and it doesn't matter because it doesn't bring the whole lot down.
That's how I've been explaining it, and then not to mention it's all shareable. Like, that's the more I feel like the also a benefit, especially with how indie teams are on Wax, and I would imagine other chains as well, but specifically Wax. It's everybody is a small project. It's like for the most part, like even I would go as far to say that even Funko, and to my knowledge, like if that's the drop team, like I know that's not a large team that's doing that. You know what I mean?
I mean, I used to one of my friends used to work on the animation team at Funko, and the team was tiny. Like it's if this is going to be one of their sub projects, they're just trying it out, seeing if they can make some revenue from it. It's not going to be their main business.
Yeah, man, and that's so many people that are running projects, with a few exceptions, right? There have been some projects that they started early enough and they did the right things. Like Cosmos 11 is a good example. And all of this is public knowledge. But so Champa and I, we met and worked together on Green Rabbit, and then about halfway through, he left on good terms to go form Cosmos 11, and then the Green Rabbit drop happened, and then I guess maybe a month or two after, the Cosmos 11, but like they did almost as well as the Green Rabbit drop did, and it's just I don't feel like we're ever going to get back to that point. And so if you were fortunate enough to have been in that time frame where we were seeing easy fucking six-figure pulls, and GR hitting seven figures is that's fucking nuts.
I mean we were lurking in the background of that year when stuff was crazy, and we had discussions all the time. We were like, oh man, we should do something now, we should do something now, we should put it out now, we should do something now. And we're like, yeah, but if we did something now, what it would just be the same old thing that would end up be dead by now.
Exactly the reason why it's now 2 years later, and yeah, dude. Josh long ago, dude. I feel that to my core, man. Like we were the same way with things. It just I don't like to move on things unless I feel a certain type of way. Especially, I don't know if it's like commitment issues or whatever. But like we had a wax proposal that we were going to submit, and like, dude, I wasn't feeling it. Like I wasn't excited about it being submitted. I was fucking petrified, and not scared because like I didn't think we could do it. I was scared because I didn't think I was going to be interested in doing it, if that makes sense, right?
Oh, we've had a few of those contracts.
Yeah, man. Like why would I want to do that? Like, why would I want to put such a large commitment, take such a large amount of money, and have all that responsibility for something I'm not super passionate about? So, yeah, Jeff, those long days are long gone, man. I don't think we're gonna see that again. And if we do,
it'll be different. I think there's previously you could kind of draw a Venn diagram of like games in this space doing well and a crypto bull run, and I think the next one is not going to be quite as tightly connected as that.
Right.
I think the evolution of this is this tech and this space kind of becoming part of the mainstream as almost as a set of microservices, and some of the projects out of here will turn into games. Some of them may turn into kind of the hard art collection stuff, and I love the art collection stuff through NFTs because I love collecting stuff. You know, I built a digital frame just from my NFT stuff.
Yeah.
And it's, I think the tricky bit is this has been so hand in hand with how the crypto market has been going that it's not had a chance to live and breathe on its own, and I think that's the next stage. You know. Yeah,
no doubt.
Easy for me to say that, going, "Oh, we missed the first bull run," you know.
Yeah, man. I slightly regret having missed it as a company, being able to have given our community some easy wins, some easy layups. But I don't think it's impossible to replicate it to some degree.
But I think now's the time to build, and being patient and careful. Like being patient and careful is going to reward us in the long run with this.
Yeah, they sure are. I would agree, Jeff. 100%, man. Everything I see, I feel good about it all. Take my money.
You can't. You can't. We're just going to give you stuff.
Yeah. So I was about to say, I do not have any NFTs. I only have Nostalgeek to blame for that.
I'll sort some out for you. I'll sort some out.
Sweet.
I always say, like, we don't necessarily publicize it, but basically, if you ask us, if for some reason you want some, or you don't want to buy some, or you can't buy some, just ask us. We'll just give you stuff. It's fine.
Yeah.
You know, what we're gonna do? Not give you it and be assholes.
He says, I think having fun will be the key to keep on the crypto space in this bear market.
Yeah.
I don't know. I've said it a few times, and you'll probably agree. I think that the tech is going to solve all of the problems. That's how we get the thing that is going to fix it all hasn't even been thought up yet, right? Like, I think it's going to be that. Dude, it's the giveaway wallet, my wallet, dude. Think about what you just said to me. Yeah, Grimace. All right, 30 seconds.
Yeah, I'll sort you out after the stream. I'll send some stuff over. We'll sort you. We've been making some because obviously everyone loves hats, so it's one of the first things we put in the game. We've been doing some custom hats for different communities, so we'll have to make a nice custom snapback for your community.
Yeah, I tried my luck. I know a secret with those tickets. I'll get them.
It's a me, nostalgic.
All right, here we go.
I think Grubfish basically sold me on some of this stuff.
Really?
Yeah, I love it. It's so stupid and so fun, and it's like it's something that just clicked. It was like, oh yeah, it's the fun community stuff, you know.
Oh, yeah. So have you been following, or has probably not, because I've been doing a terrible job of explaining things, but there's a project on Solana called Backpack. It's from Coral Community,
To-
and they're moving in the direction of executable NFTs. So code.
You did mention that.
Mhm.
I haven't looked into it. But yeah,
Stay off of
I'd like-
Twitter, but um,
Oh, I was on Twitter this morning. I was like, "You hope you're still awake."
yeah. What a fun few days. But any thoughts on code in NFTs?
I mean, I love the idea of it. I mean, it's not that, to me. It doesn't seem that much different from a smart contract, because it's you know, I'm a bit of a dick about it. I kind of describe smart contracts as like the world's biggest distribution of shitty little computers, you know.
Right. Yeah.
I build a lot of stuff with Arduinos. You know, I'm literally surrounded by them, and I kind of, in my head, that mini app, mini binary thing really appeals to me, and that's kind of how I see the smart contract stuff. And it doesn't seem like too much of a stretch for it to be in an NFT as well. Obviously, there's some serious issues around how do you manage the security of that payloads and messing with people's machines. But to be honest with you, considering most devices are now locked up, you know, your devices will shut shit down before bad stuff happens. Mostly, you know, for the most part.
Right. Yeah.
But you got to trust that the environments you deploy into are going to keep stuff safe. So I think they're a great idea. I'd love to see that. Have you played any of the? Have you seen the Pico 8 Virtual Console? I think the Nostalgia Geek does his graphics on the Pico CAD with it.
Negative.
It's awesome. It's like a retro looking 64 by 64 pixel mini virtual machine. It's Lua based, and you can run it on like handhelds, phones, embedded in the browser. It's awesome. My favorite thing about it is the program in it is compiled to a binary that has a finite length, and they encode it inside the PNG, which is the thumbnail of the game cartridge. So if you've got the thumbnail of the game cartridge, you've also already got the game, because the game code is encoded in the PNG, and you just drop that PNG you drop that PNG into the console, and it runs the game. That just suits NFTs so well.
Dude, that's what I'm saying, man. Like a modern day like floppy disk or whatever, right?
Yeah. That's ultimately the target for this little micro console we put together this week. It's we were looking at using Pico 8, but its overheads are a little bit too much with everything else we want to do. And at the end of the day, it's little fun. So we thought, well, let's just make a little shitty console. And it's this little 8-bit 70s console. We're going to be doing the same thing with that, which is build the cartridges and encode them into the NFTs, into the images. So if you've got the image, you've got the cartridge. It's like, it's not that hard doing that stuff. It's quite fun. So
yeah. So what you're coding in C#, I'm guessing, right? If it's Unity, is that right?
The game itself is in C#. The emulator is written in C#. The cartridges for these games are written in Chip 8 assembly.
Oh, ouch.
Yep. But that's, you know what, that's kind of fun in a really sadistic way, you know.
You're writing out assembly code. There's not some way that compiles it down to.
There is, but to be honest with you, it's just kind of fun not to be in C or something for a change. I grew up originally coding in, you know, I mean, back when I was a kid, I started in BASIC, but eventually, when I was doing most of my coding in the 90s, I was writing DOS cracks using Pascal within line assembly. So assembly is quite fun. It makes sense. It's that low level code. So, you know, it's tight. You can do nice things with assembly.
Yeah, dude, when I hear things like that, I realize how disadvantaged I am to have not started coding at all until, you know, maybe like 10 years ago or so. I missed all that cool shit because
it's a double-edged sword, you know.
Oh yeah.
I was a reclusive kid. I didn't even speak to strangers till I was about 20. You know.
Yeah, I could see that. I can see that being a common theme. You make a good point there. I hear you. But yeah, man, I wish I would have had maybe just a little more experience, exposure. There's concepts and things that I missed. You know, I did do a coding boot camp, and that just goes so fucking fast, man. You know, and there's no way, even if it was 6 months, 3 days a week, you could only learn so much.
And I always think with this stuff, like learning by doing is well, for me, it's always the best way. I mean, I know a lot of people who like to sit with the books and the manuals and follow through the processes. Yeah. But like, I'm like, no, I want to start at this point where I fuck it up 20 times and then I might get it right. And then eventually through repeatedly doing that, you learn enough to move forward. It's like,
right.
I've got my one camera here that works. I've got a box of about 30, I've got 30 which didn't work, you know? I love this. It's stupid shit for fun that is actually quite fun, you know, and means something. You can pull the world apart with it. Everyone needs to think a little bit, you know.
Hell yeah! All right, last call for Grubfish, and then we got to get you scheduled up with who did we say? Super Dope and Sneakery was another one that wants to get you on stream, man. They should do a little tourist tour.
I think we're kind of starting the year off, clear out the Christmas decorations. We've got a little bit of a tweak to fix on the server. We'll push out a couple of updates on the mobile, clean everything up for the new year, and then I think we'll start taking it out and about a little bit. So later on this month, start of next month, I think we'll start taking it out. It's quite funny. Before Christmas, we did a bit of a stream with it, and oh my god, the networking on the web client shit the bed so hard. It was like it started killing the server, mostly because I put way too many updates on the football for the physics.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Just trying to sync everyone's players too many times a second for perfect physics on that ball.
All right, here we go. All right, 6-bit. What else do you have for this audience?
What do I have for the audience?
Oof. Yeah.
What do I
they have your Discord, right? I think we have that. Do y'all have a vanity URL for your Discord?
No, we don't. We'll investigate some nice, more shiny things like that.
Let me see if I can't put one together for you. Hold on a second.
What I would say is, anyone who's in here now, if you pop into the Discord, say hello, say you're from here, we'll send you some stuff. If you haven't got anything, we'll send you some stuff. If you've already got some stuff, ask for something you haven't got, because I do keep spares of things that something we always put all the low mints of everything into any of the airdrops and stuff, but we always keep some of the high mints back just in case people missed out on stuff.
Yeah, I'm gonna grab a link right now.
Oh, and I think Rob's posted in the iOS and Android links as well.
Yeah, how much does the iOS cost you every month just to have it on the store?
Nothing. I don't think. Yeah, nothing. I think it was just a one-off. It's just a one-off fee for the developer. I think we renew the developer license each year because we've done a couple of other apps for other people.
Yeah, I know there's no way that it can be free. Like Apple literally doesn't give away anything for free.
I mean, transaction based, they're going to take 30%, which is what we've been very careful about because they are being weird with NFTs and crypto stuff.
Yeah, I heard about that.
Coinbase pulled some of their stuff off in their app because of that.
Yeah, and then they tried to I forget who it was, but they offered them like 15%, and they still told them to go fuck themselves.
I don't like it. Ultimately, you're playing the sandpits you're allowed access to. So, like, you know, Steam take their cut, Apple take their cut, Android take their cut, Xbox takes their cut. So when we come to doing it, there was I think to actually jump on again something Josh said the other day about game companies treating NFTs as did DLC basically, and I think that really helps, especially Unity. You've got the Unity Game Services, which has an ecosystem for going on your iPhone, using your Apple Pay to buy some in-game DLC. That's basically the approach we're going to take through the Unity game services, which is going to mirror out into the Wax ecosystem. So hopefully, if that all pans out, that's going to be really nice and seamless, and we won't need to do any of the front of house kind of blockchain stuff in the app. It can be embedded within your account. Like every single Auton in Turis is having its own wallet. You could send it tokens and you can send it assets, and then if you tick the box to give it permission, it will do stuff with them. So
yeah. I think this should work here. All right. Tell me if that Discord dsc.gg/Turis should work for the Discord invites. Was that the dance off or was that the?
Yeah, it looks like it's worked.
Yeah, great.
Nice. Thanks. Cheers.
Yeah, you bet. Let's do this again. Dude, yeah, we need to get Gaz on and ask him why it's doing what it's doing. It's got to be a cache issue, but maybe it's this error up in the right-hand corner. Maybe that has something to do with it. It shows the wrong leaderboard a lot. Like you'll see the game go, you'll see who wins, and it won't say that. Yeah, it's still showing old ones. All right. Well, did you see New Wiga by chance? I showed it off earlier. There's a screenshot in the main Discord, our Discord.
I like it. I'm looking forward to seeing all those different services come together.
Yeah, dude. It's very exciting. Grimace. All right. Woot. All right, my friend. This was awesome. I could probably keep going, but I'm fucking exhausted, man. I don't know if you run out of steam here.
I've got about 8 minutes to grab a drink and then go and grab my daughter before my partner goes off to work. Nice.
Dude, thank you so much for joining us.
No worries. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, we'll stay talking in our channels, and I'm gonna finish that UI. I will let you know how it's pinging and responding if there's any issues or whatever.
Yeah, I'm gonna as I said, I'm gonna shift over to the other server later on, so hopefully that'll be a bit more performant and we can see where it goes from there with it. So it might pop off for a bit, but I'll leave it till later on.
Word. All right, my friend. Thank you so much, guys. We'll talk to you soon.
Thank you. Thanks, everyone.